you're talking about being passionate about a candidate, when you're talking about a candidate that you believe in, there are some people that think this is the guy that's going to be.
Oh no! God damn it! Not this fuck. Why the hell he got looking like that? Like a goddamn Karl Marx or Stalin. What the fuck?
It does look like
Mayor
Stalin,
Pete
actually.
for president, and we all have seen this tweet, and this tweet says, "Raise your proud hand if you would like to see Pete Buttigieg run for president of the United States in 2028." So you can tell this is a Democratic person. They ain't trying to ruffle any feathers.
Right.
2024.
Like,
so
Elon, I thought you got rid of the bot.
2034. And let me just show you one of the reaction of you guys is that's here right now.
Elon, I thought you got rid of the bot. I thought you got rid of the bots. Like, come on, 10.8.
There's no way. There's no way. Let me click on that. Go ahead, Nick. Make that point. Let me click. Let me go back to that tweet so we can see the likes to your point. Go ahead, Nick. Where was the point you were making?
10.8 thousand likes.
That's ridiculous.
You guys think that's real? No fucking way. Get the fuck out. No. Elon, massive L on your part. I thought you was going to get rid of the bot.
Well, where did they find that picture? Is that like an AI generated picture? Or is that a real
exactly? So what I want to add
is there was just, I am assuming this is coming from, there was just an article, I think it was Vanity Fair, that was insane, that describes Pete Buttigieg's mind as being like a cathedral with many rooms.
I think I saw that. Yeah, I think.
I'm betting that's where that picture came from.
Well, let me add this as someone who's lived in Indiana and someone who's at least had some experience there in that state because it's my second home. Look, folks. Pete Buttigieg was once the mayor of a place called South Bend, Indiana. Under Pete Buttigieg's administration as mayor of South Bend, Indiana, black communities were displaced. Black neighborhoods got gentrified. And in the 2020 Democratic primary, the police in South Bend, Indiana killed a black man. And Pete Buttigieg went there. The people of South Bend, Indiana, particularly even the black community, confronted Pete Buttigieg and gave him a piece of their mind. Go talk to the people of South Bend, Indiana, and really ask them what they think about the neoliberals' favorite little darling child, Pete Buttigieg, and how he willingly turned a blind eye to police corruption, how he allowed police brutality to happen under his administration, and how he was never going to be the one to hold them accountable, and how his administration was walked all over by everyone. He was nothing more than a glorified sock puppet, which is what he was then, and which is what he is now to this day. Pete Buttigieg isn't some Democrat. He is a dime store version of Obama, and that's not saying much because unlike Obama, Pete Buttigieg can't complete anything. Not charismatic, incapable of rallying support. And plus, if you look at how he handled the crisis in East Palestine, Ohio, it is quite clear that Pete Buttigieg is the last person you want to be sitting in the White House. This is an individual that willingly allowed the people that he's supposed to rule over and administrate over and protect. He let gentrification, police brutality happen. No accountability under Pete Buttigieg. Can you imagine a United States with Pete Buttigieg as president? It's a goddamn nightmare. He won't even get a goddamn voice in. That's how weak-willed he truly is. And
he can't even make the planes run on time. Yeah. So this is another thing with Buttigieg. If he were not a Democrat, isn't he supposed to be canceled? I mean, he claimed endorsement from African Americans who never endorsed him based on an email. If you didn't respond to the email in time, you were assumed to have endorsed him. And then after he gets busted for that, he starts claiming endorsements from black-owned restaurants in South Carolina that he ate at. Seriously, the owners had to come out and be like, I didn't endorse him. He ate here. He had an event here. We didn't endorse him. He used pictures for his plan for Black America from Kenya. You use stock photos of Kenyans. Now, all of this, if I understand the rules correctly that are laid out, aren't these all cancelable offenses? Isn't he? I mean, if it were a Republican, they'd want to cancel him, right? Like, isn't this all cancelable? Doing something like that? Why is he being talked about for president?
I'm going to go back to the old theory that I brought back up in 2020. Pete Buttigieg is a Skaven. So shout out to my Warhammer fans. But so for those who don't know, a Skaven is like a rat creature, and Pete Buttigieg is a goddamn rat. That's all he is.
It's funny that liberals really believe that black people are going to vote for Pete Buttigieg. Not going to happen.
This is what I mean. I mean, this is, once again, I've been making this point forever. This is evidence. It all comes back to just understanding how incredibly dumb these people are. They just, you cannot get it through these people's heads that Pete Buttigieg has zero black support. You can't win a Democratic primary with zero black support. Period. That's it. It's the end. That's the beginning and the end of the conversation right there. Yet it doesn't matter. They still share these memes around like they're going to make something out of this guy
because they only talk to each other.
Well, yes, exactly. And that's why you can never get through to them because they
live in a mental headspace,
right,
where everyone outside their bubble are the Visigoths over the hills. These are the barbarians that have to be either civilized or beaten back. So there's no need to really be curious about what anyone who wants to vomit when they see Pete Buttigieg thinks, no matter or why they feel that way. There's no need.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch that documentary that came out about him a couple years back?
Hell no.
Russell and I watched it. We used that as a fundraising drive. No, what we did was we said, because we had to raise some money. So we said, what was it? Like, we need 20 new Patreon members by a certain time. And if we hit that fundraising goal, we'll release that as a Patreon only show. So we watched it, but it's amazing. Like, in that whole film, there is literally not one instance where the audience is told a single thing that Pete Buttigieg would do if he wins and actually assumes the Oval Office. Not a single thing. Not a single time did anyone say what this guy's plan is to do. A single policy, a single idea to move the country. No, it's all charisma. It's manufactured charisma. He is just a character profile for what a lot of these, woke sort of white liberals aspire to be.
Well, they also, I mean, if you look at that raise your proud hand, they've taken a lot of just causes and used them as branding exercises. They've just taken gay rights as a cultural signal to their base that you have to get behind this to show that you support gay rights. And you can support gay rights and not support Pete Buttigieg, but they want their people to think that way so that they can push their buttons just by slapping these labels onto the products that they're trying to push.
Actually, if you guys don't mind, I actually want to make a correction of what I said earlier. Pete Buttigieg could win if the Democratic Party want him to win. They will just depress turnout, but they are definitely grooming him. And I can definitely see them doing an Iowa 3.0 after like Biden A1 steps down. You just see record depressed turnout, just like you're going to see in upcoming elections. But like I said on Twitter when I react to this story, the sad part is it doesn't matter whether they force Pete Buttigieg down your throat, whether they pick Kamala Harris, whether they find another neoliberal like Katie Porter or someone else. It's going to be very sad to see Bernie and his movement endorse Pete Buttigieg. Are you guys ready for Bernie Sanders to tell you guys that 2028 is the most important election of your lifetime because Tucker Carlson is going up? I know you guys don't like Pete Buttigieg. I know you guys have disagreements. But Tucker Carlson, guys, he's a Nazi. He's a white supremacist. This
Actually,
is the most important election. And I can easily see AOC say stuff like, man, I work with Pete Buttigieg. And he's actually a great guy once you get to know him.
If it's Tucker Carlson versus Pete Buttigieg, that
Let's
will
go
be.
Keaton, and then we go Keaton.
Oh, sorry, no, that's okay.
So real quick, I mean, adding to your point with the Tucker Carlson presidency, I mean, come on, it would be entertaining, and not to mention, I think his presidential addresses would be far more engaging. I think he would actually have an input into that if that was ever to be the case. But all this hype around Pete Buttigieg and everything that he supposedly stands for, I can't help but think of that quote from Jimmy Dore. If the Democratic Party was around, or it was what it is during the Civil War era, they'd be celebrating their first slave owner who was transgender. It doesn't matter who the Democrats put up, because the thing is, the Democrats want someone to hold up the neoliberal agenda, be they part of the LGBTQ community, be they Black, be they Latino, be they a woman, so long as you follow the corporate plan of the Democratic establishment, they're okay with you. And if they want you to win, as Nick pointed out, then they're going to make sure you're going to win. Case in point, Barack Obama's phone call in South Carolina and during the Democratic primary of 2020, when everyone went behind Biden. So if they want you to win, they'll let you win.
Yeah. I don't know how they would do it, but they'll find a damn way. If they want to annoy him, they would, because they annoyed Biden. Remember, Biden was like 4th place in New Hampshire. Thought that motherfucker was dead. Then they was like,
all it took was James Clyburn to say yay or nay. That was it.
The mafia boss.